Sometimes yesterday can seem a million years away, and I'll forget exactly what to say when asked about my past. Time is my enemy.
I wanted to do a video today about some things that was talked about on Memory People the other day. I wrote this down so I got a glance at it. It's about like being embarrassed over this disease or not wanting to talk about it, family members, friends, or even the patient, spouse, whatever. I never quite understood that, but I guess it happens a lot. I remember when I was diagnosed, I told everybody because I was in the frame of mind that people seen my forgetfulness and my memory loss. That was pretty evident. So trying to hide it or disguise it in any way. Of course, I worked for the public. I was I worked EMS, and I never forgot a procedure or anything like that for a patient because all that stuff was in my long-term memory. But as far as with EMS, you learn new things all the time. It's an ongoing educational thing, and I just couldn't do that. And I didn't know why, but I found out, So we have some people on Memory People that was saying the other day that, their family members or even the patient doesn't want to talk about it. And I guess I don't know if I understand it or not, but I always try to explain to people that this Alzheimer's or EOAD or dementia, any form of dementia, it's a disease. It's nothing different than cancer or diabetes or stroke, whatever. Well, stroke's not a disease, but anyway, excuse me. There's nothing to be ashamed about. You have a memory deficit, I suppose I can see at times, well, I can't, because I was going to say where it can be embarrassing, but it's, when I do these videos or even when I'm out anywhere and talking to anybody and I forget, I try to think of a word I want to use or something. If Phyllis Jew's with me, I just have to look at her and she knows exactly what I'm talking about and she gets me through it. But if she's not there, then I just stumble and fumble around, or I just say, well, I don't know what I was going to say. Don't ever be embarrassed because you have some form of dementia. I mean, I don't wear it on my sleeve, but anybody that knows me knows about the EOAD that I have, and it's just the way it is, if you've got family members and friends that are in denial, man, I feel sorry for you because it's tough. It's happened to me, I had to fight tooth and nail to get people just to listen to me for a long, long time. And hear all the same stuff everybody hears. Well, I do this, or I forget this, or I forgot that. They don't understand that when you have this disease, when it's gone, when you have a memory erased, it's gone. It's just not, well, I forgot something. It's actually gone from your brain. It is mine anyway. And the only way I would ever recollect something is if somebody reminded me or whatever. Just like yesterday, once again, I tell people this all the time. I couldn't tell you what we had for supper last night. I don't know. I don't remember. Now, I know we went to Hope Clinic last night. I don't know why I remember that, but we did do that. But other than that, there's nothing that sticks out that happened yesterday because it's my short-term memory problem. So, but anyway, just try to remember that it's a disease of the brain. Starts out slowly. You forget short-term memory, and then it progresses into your long-term memory. But Um, I I won't say I don't associate with people that's in denial, because I do. Some of them are family members. What are you going to do? But I stay away from the negativity. And what I mean by negativity is when people try to talk you out of having this disease. It's just crazy. I've been on radio shows before, talk shows, and I remember one in particular for some reason, but I remember this vaguely, not vaguely, but I remember it well, that the the neurologist, who was a neurologist, was on there with me, and we was talking about several things, and one of the topics come up about memory people, and I said something to the effect, back then I said, yeah, we have like 1,272 members or whatever it was, you know. And just right after that, he said, well, that's just amazing. He said, that's what's more amazing, that you can tell me how many people were on that site. And I said, what's that? He said, well, it's amazing that you can remember that. How many people is on that site? You know, with your memory deficit. How do you do that? And I said, well, I'm looking right at it. I said, I'm looking right at our memory people site, and it says right up there how many members we have. You know, all he was doing was trying to trip me up, if you will, trying to make it look like I didn't have a memory deficit. And I wished I didn't, but, you know, you're not going to get anywhere trying to do that. You know, I don't care if you're a doctor or a neurologist or a caregiver or whatever. Trying to trick somebody into remembering something, or showing that they're faking it or whatever, that doesn't do anybody any good. I don't know. Maybe it just seemed to me like he was just like, well, you know, it's amazing that you can remember how many people's on there. Well, I was sitting right in front of my computer on the phone talking to this guy. So it was strange at best. And I don't need stuff like that. You know, I want to bring awareness, and I want to try to get people to understand about this disease. And I tell people a lot of times that it's the ignorance of the disease, and it doesn't mean that people's ignorant. It's just they're ignorant of Alzheimer's or dementia. They don't understand. Like I say, you know, well, I forgot my wallet, or I don't know where I put my keys at. Well, that's not it at all. You know, I said many times, I opened up this refrigerator, and I don't even know what I'm in there for. You know, I have no idea. Uh, I can get a skillet out and put it on the stove, and by the time I get it on the stove and spray some Pam in it or whatever, I'm like, well, what was I supposed to put in it? Was I going to fix a cheeseburger, or, I don't know, chicken strips or grilled cheese sandwich? You know, I just don't know. And that's how it works. And it's like that all the time. Now, sometimes it's not as bad, obviously, but 90% of the time, you know, I go through my entire day, it's just wondering, trying to remember everything, you know. And it ain't no wonder people suffer with sundowners, because by the time evening comes, you're so tired of, you know, having a stressful day, trying to remember stuff. Now, I'm not saying that causes sundowners, but I'm just saying it surely doesn't help. So I just wanted to kind of go over that try not to, you know, this disease is like the elephant in the room. You know, it's there, but nobody wants to talk about it. I can't figure it out. But I guess they think if you don't talk about it, it'll go away, or I don't know, but it doesn't. And that's what I tell people also, that you need to embrace this disease and accept it. And when you do that, it doesn't mean you've given up. It just means that you understand what's taking place and what's going to happen. Excuse me again. Because the bottom line is, you know, you don't have to accept it. But to deny it, it's going to progress whether you accept it or not. That's what I come to find out way long time ago. And I keep saying, everybody's like, well, he accepts it. Well, I don't accept it to the point to where I'm glad I have it or whatever. It means that I just know I've made peace with this, and I understand what's going to happen and take place. And, you know, it's like everything else. If you're diagnosed with cancer in a 5th stage or something, you deal with it. I mean, you know, you got to do the chemo, you got to do the radiation. There's just things you got to do. With this disease, you got to take all this medication and patches and stuff. So, and there's no cure in sight. I've said before, the closest thing they come to, if they come up with a cure tomorrow, it'd be a quarter of a century before it ever got to the public. With the FDA and all that, it would be years before it ever filtered down to where they could start prescribing it. So I don't see that happening in my lifetime. But that's, once again, that's just my feeling. So, all right, I just want to do a quick video about people trying to shove this thing under the rug, if you will, but try not to do that because it doesn't do anybody any good. Most of us on here, or everybody on Memory People, is trying to bring awareness, and people come here and they realize that we talk about this disease and we support each other like we do, and it's hard to fathom that we become family for them because the family they have won't talk about it with them. I feel so sorry for people that's in that situation. But you know, it happens, and sometimes people, you know, family members or friends come around, and then sometimes they don't. I don't know. Sooner or later, when the disease overtakes a patient, then I guess I gotta come around then, but you know, then it's like too little too late. So I don't know, I just wish it wasn't like that, but I wish nobody had this disease too. So what are you gonna do? All right, have a good day, and have a good weekend. Songs on iTunes now, if you didn't know that. They posted it, I don't know, yesterday or the day before yesterday. You just go to iTunes if you have it, you know. If you don't have it, download it on your computer and go to a little search bar up there in iTunes and type in While I Still Can. We're the second song. There's somebody ahead of us, so we need to change that. But we are the second song. And then Dan Mitchell got a hold of me, and he said, Rick, I really didn't want you to put that on iTunes. He said, that was just a rough draft. And I'm like, no, it's fine. He said, well, the final version will be out in a couple days. So he didn't tell me what's going on, but I think he must have added the backup singers or something. I don't know. He wouldn't tell me. So there is going to be another track laid down, and that'll be the final one. So I don't know what to expect with it, but we'll just have another release on iTunes. You know, we'll have a version that was just done in the studio, and then we'll have another version that actually, like I said, I don't know if the backup singers are in it or, excuse me, but they are doing some mixing on it, so we'll see. I can't imagine it being any better than the one we have now, but like I said, we'll see. So, all right, have a good weekend. Talk to you later.